This is the Aikido short kata, short Jo Kata, and I have adapted this somewhat to my purposes for leading, but just so you'll know what the overall kata is, and then we'll be looking at different parts of it. Then the kata is repeated on the other side. Now we'll look at the third movement of the short Jo Kata. And the kata, as you remember, I'm attaching the kata to the front of this, so you just got to look at it. But you start off, thrust, then this movement, that's first movement, and then this movement is the second movement. We're going to start at that movement. And the way you practice this in Aikido classes a lot of the time is you have two people doing the kata at the same time, so it's not really like you're fencing because you're not doing the things you would do to fence, but you are facing, you're just facing each other going through the kata together. So when we both go through this third movement together, we're starting here, and then we both swing the Jo and come to this position. And it's really stressed here that I'm not pushing against his Jo. I'm trying to hit him in the face, and he's trying to hit me in the face. So this is this position. And most people in the clubs that certainly where I learned this, here when I'm teaching it, I teach it my way, and they're not supposed to have opinions, I guess, I don't know. But most people just interpreted this as that we're just smashing into the other guy, and I guess if he has a Jo here, I'm just trying to overpower him. And that always seemed ridiculous to me. Maybe it's because I'm a little guy, I weigh 130 pounds, and I've had guys in here that weighed over 350. I had one guy that weighed over 350 pounds, and he liked to wrestle with his brother who also came here. His brother weighed 240, and he had no trouble at all picking his brother up on his shoulders and slamming him into the mat. So I'm not going to overpower somebody like that. That's not an option. So what we would do, at any rate, my interpretation of this for a long time before I understood the leading was as a parry where he's striking, I come here. Well, as he strikes, I just yield and let this come through and strike here. And this was, to me, a very nice interpretation. You really can't leave your hand there. I mean, even if it's somebody your size and you think you could overpower him, that's really dangerous if you understand how Jo works. Because what would typically happen with a Jo, if he's swinging at me, I would meet his Jo out here. If I'm going to block it or parry it, I'm going to push it down and slide down and smash his hand. And the idea is I want to smash his hand and make him drop the Jo so that I can finish him. So he's striking, and I would be here. So I hit up here. I don't try to stop this head on. I drive it downwards, smash his hand, and come up into his face. Well, if I try to meet him head on and do that, he's going to do that. He's going to come down on my hand and smash my hand and then finish me. So even if I was strong, that's not necessarily a good strategy. So this parrying strategy where I just drop out of the way, so it keeps him from being able to hit my hand, and it lets him power this for me to come around. Now the leading is very similar to this. This could have been a leading movement. But with the leading, I don't touch his Jo at all. If he swings at my head and I don't have a Jo and I try to duck, it's very easy for him to hit me. Maybe somebody could duck it, nobody in our club can. If we're swinging at you and you try to duck like that, you'll be hit. And but if I have my Jo up there, so if he swings at me and my Jo is up here, the Jo attracts his attention and he swings at it rather than my head. So this is where you get your leading effect. So he's swinging at me and I get my leading effect. And this enables you to duck yokomen type attacks. So your leading is useful for all three of your basic Aikido attacks, for Ski, Yokomenuchi, and Shomenuchi. And actually this movement is very can be very practical in hand-to-hand combat, because if he has say a wakizashi, and this stick is the length of a wakizashi, which is also the length of a machete. And so if he's swinging at my head with something like that and I just try to duck, we can't pull it off. I mean, I know I see people show techniques where they do that, but we can't make that work. But if you lead him so he swings, and so if he's leading, I want to come up to I want to come up to his hands here. I don't want to come up here. If I misjudge and don't move my hands soon enough, this can be very messy. Then I have to clean up the mats and not, But so he's swinging, and we can do a throw like that, and it is a very viable technique, and it gives you a way of ducking either from empty hand strikes that are coming towards you or from weapons of various kinds that are coming towards you.